Here's your wrestling news for January 12th, 2020. And your headlines for today include: Drew McIntyre tests positive. Who replaces the WWE Champion? Huge title match set for Royal Rumble. Hall of Famer competes on Raw. More positive cases being kept secret in WWE. Kofi Kingston injured. How long will he be out for? Keith Lee destroys Ring on Raw. Kenny Omega brings AEW World Title to Impact this week. Update ensued with Impact and Jeff Jarrett. WWE Superstar blasts AEW's terrifying bump. More Royal Rumble names confirmed. How did WWE pull off shocking stunt to close Raw? How is AEW dealing with cases? WWE announcer blasts cruel fans. Wrestling legend announces new energy drink. We're starting today with some worrying news from WWE as Drew McIntyre has recently tested positive for COVID-19. In a short statement from WWE.com, McIntyre's positive test was confirmed, and it was noted that the WWE Champion has been placed in quarantine. Of course, the WWE Champion testing positive throws a lot of plans up in the air, though this test didn't stop WWE from making his championship match with Goldberg official for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Addressing Goldberg's return, Drew said how the Hall of Famer appeared before he had a chance to thank the legends, which is interesting because Goldberg came out before McIntyre cut a promo and accused the champion of trashing the legends. Nevertheless, McIntyre accepted the challenge, so fans can expect to see Goldberg vs. McIntyre for the title at the Rumble. As for Raw, McIntyre was supposed to face Randy Orton in a non-title match, but instead, the champion gave a video message urging fans to take COVID seriously, saying, "If it can happen to me, it can happen to you." Given that the Scotsman was unable to compete, the WWE's backup plan saw Triple H return to TV to face Orton in a match. Not only was the inclusion of Triple H unexpected, but so was the finish, as the game held a flaming sledgehammer and the lights turned off. When they turned back on, the game was gone and Alexa Bliss appeared before throwing a fireball in Orton's face to end the show. It's impressive that WWE were able to put this match together on such short notice, and we're sure that McIntyre is watching closely in quarantine. We're sending our best wishes to the WWE Champion and his family at this time, and hopefully, the Scotsman will be back in the ring and proving himself to be a fighting champion soon enough. Drew's positive COVID test is a huge issue for WWE to overcome, but he may not be the only positive case on WWE's main roster. According to Ringside News, a member of the SmackDown roster has tested positive as well, though the site chose not to disclose who it is out of respect for the superstar, but confirmed they are involved in a television storyline. The fact that WWE revealed that McIntyre had tested positive is a big deal, as in the past, the company has kept records of test results quiet, and both AJ Styles and Renee Young had heat with WWE when they revealed their positive results. We are not sure who this mystery SmackDown superstar is, but we're certainly hoping for the best for them, and we'll be keeping a close eye on the Blue brand this week to see which superstar in a storyline has suddenly dropped off the show. Speaking of superstars being out of action, Kofi Kingston didn't appear on Raw this week, causing Xavier Woods to face T-Bar alone, and that's because the former WWE Champion is injured. On commentary, Tom Phillips revealed that Kofi is out with a fractured jaw that he said was an injury he suffered against the Hurt Business. Commentary gave no explanation for when Kingston will be back, but without his New Day partner, Woods was definitively beaten by T-Bar, who was accompanied by the rest of Retribution. In the past, the New Day has been able to get around injuries by rotating the members of the team, but with Big E on his own and Kofi injured, things may be getting much tougher for their final member until Kingston can return. This week's Raw wasn't all injuries, facial burns, and positive tests though, as last night, Keith Lee demonstrated some serious power. Teaming with Sheamus to face The Miz and John Morrison, the Limitless One lived up to his nickname when he hit Morrison with a powerful shot in the corner that caused the turnbuckle to break off the ring. By the time the show returned from commercials, the ringside crew had repaired the turnbuckle, but it was definitely a cool effect to show just how strong the former NXT champion can be in the ring. Impact Wrestling news now, as this Sunday's Hard to Kill pay-per-view will see the Impact in-ring debut of AEW World Champion Kenny Omega, who's appeared repeatedly on the show since he won the title last year. On Instagram, Impact announced Omega will be on tonight's go-home show in the Impact Zone alongside Don Callis. Omega taped a lot of material to build towards Hard to Kill, with most footage recorded on his bus, and they clearly have one more week of content in the can. Omega's Impact in-ring debut will see him team with the Good Brothers to face Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns, and given last week's show saw the Bullet Club attack their Hard to Kill opponents, it'll be interesting to see what Omega has to say this week. Speaking of Impact, the company has been engaged in a lengthy lawsuit with their founder Jeff Jarrett for quite some time now, and it looks like this case is finally settled. This lawsuit was over who has the rights to Global Force wrestling footage, but on January 8th, the U.S. District Court Middle District of Tennessee filed a new settlement saying that Jarrett and Impact's parent company Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions have reached a settlement. The documentation didn't disclose any monetary value, but it did note that both parties will submit a joint request for dismissal of all claims made in the lawsuit by no later than October 21, 2022. It was only a few months ago that the case was ruled as a mistrial and urged both parties to settle, and it looks like that's exactly what'll be happening, though we still don't know who will own the GFW footage. AEW news next, as at the company's All Out 2020 pay-per-view, Matt Hardy took a brutal bump during his Broken Rules match with Sammy Guevara, where he fell off of a scissor lift. Despite showing clear signs of a concussion, the match wasn't stopped, and now Matt's brother Jeff has commented on how it felt to see his brother take this bump. Speaking to Metro UK newspaper, the former World Heavyweight Champion spoke about the bump, saying, "Terrifying. When he tried to get up and then he fell down, when you hit your head hard, that's scary stuff. That was scary stuff, man. With Matt, flesh on concrete, it was scary when he couldn't walk. Gosh, man, thank God he's okay, but that's part of the game." Jeff also spoke about his own injuries, most recently from his Symphony of Destruction match with Elias, saying, "When I did the Whisper in the Wind and he hit me in the butt with the guitar, my back is still messed up from that. But that's part of the job, you know? You're gonna get hurt." AEW's decision to let the match continue last year drew a lot of criticism for the company, with many fans believing the match should have ended after the bump, and Jeff Hardy wasn't happy to see his brother be temporarily unable to walk. Back to WWE, and this month's Women's Royal Rumble match has two more names added to its roster. On Raw, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose both declared their entries into the 4th annual Women's Royal Rumble match before losing to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler in tag team action. Brooke and Rose now join Jax, Women's Tag Team Champion Charlotte Flair, Bayley, and Bianca Belair in the match, meaning there's 24 spots left. For the Men's Rumble match, Daniel Bryan, US Champion Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and Otis have all been confirmed, and time will tell which two superstars leave the Rumble pay-per-view with a guaranteed title match at WrestleMania 37. Winning his third Rumble match may be easier said than done for Randy Orton, who we mentioned suffered a fireball to the face this week on Raw by Alexa Bliss. Now details have emerged about how WWE pulled off this dangerous stunt, as according to Ringside News, the segment with Bliss and Orton was pre-taped and took a little extra production value, as WWE wanted to get it exactly right. Going to a pre-taped feed also explains why Orton's cheek magically healed, as he was busted open by Triple H during the brawl outside the ring, which was suddenly gone later in the show. Being able to pre-tape segments is one of the luxuries that WWE has by filming in the Thunderdome, and one that they'll lose once they're able to have a live crowd again. We still haven't seen The Fiend since his Firefly Inferno match loss to the Viper at TLC 2020, but now Orton knows how it's like to feel the burn. More from AEW, as the company has had to deal with some COVID-19 positive cases themselves, but reportedly nowhere near on the same level as WWE. During Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez stated that he's not heard of any current positive cases in the All Elite promotion, so any wrestlers who aren't on the show are off for reasons other than COVID. This lack of cases is a far cry from WWE, as well as Impact Wrestling, and whilst there's no cases in the company at the moment, there's still always a risk when traveling through Florida, which has seen 23,070 deaths so far. Nick Jackson recently revealed that he tested positive a few months ago, And although the young buck has made a full recovery, and AEW is doing far better than other promotions with cases, it goes to show you that you can't be too careful at this time. Kayla Braxton is one person who knows all about testing positive, as she caught it twice in 2020 and doesn't want to make it a third time. Not only has she tested positive twice, but someone close to her family recently passed due to COVID, which may explain why the WWE announcer was furious when she logged onto Twitter and saw people tagging her in jokes about the current situation. In a tweet of her own, Braxton didn't hold back, saying, "While I was at work tonight, I got a call that someone very close to me died of COVID. And as I logged onto this platform tonight, I noticed multiple disgusting tweets tagging me to make jokes about me when I had the virus earlier this year." It's shocking that people still want to make jokes about a situation that the world has been dealing with for a year now that has killed close to 2 million people worldwide, and these jokes aren't helping society get back to normal any faster. We are sending our deepest condolences to Braxton after the passing of this individual who was very close to her, and we hope that people stop and think about what they might be doing the next time they want to crack wise about COVID-19, especially to someone who's had it twice. And we're ending today with news from The Rock, and after dominating the world of professional wrestling and Hollywood, the Brahma Bull now has his sights set on the energy drinks market. This week, The Rock took to Instagram to announce Zoa Energy, which is said to be far healthier than other energy drinks. In the past, The Rock said that the drink will contain vitamins C, D, and B, as well as essential aminos, antioxidants, and 160 micrograms of natural caffeine from green tea extracts and coffee beans. This isn't even the first time the People's Champion has got into the drinks market, as he has his own brand of tequila called Termana Tequila. Fans will have to wait until March before they get to drink Zoa Energy, and time will tell how the most electrifying man in sports entertainment does in his latest business endeavor.